You have once again entered the world of survival horror. Good luck! So there were a couple of videos in Resident Evil 0 when I was playing that game for this channel where I was like, oh, I think I've hit a wall. I don't think I can do this because this is too frustrating. This video was that for me this time. It's a combination of, I think there's some genuine BS in this part, and also I've never been great at this specific game. I'm fine at it. This part I've always been trash at. It's the hunters. The hunters, as I described in the last video, are the bane of my existence in this game. They are the absolute worst things to fight, which is why we're actually right now going to start this video with a little bit of hunter cleanup. We're going to go to some kind of troublesome areas that hunters are located in, and we are going to eliminate them from the game. We're going to just say, see ya. There are two hunters in particular that I want to get rid of at the beginning of this video, because I can't tell you how many times I've done this part, which is a fairly long part, and then gotten killed by the two hunters, and then had to redo like half an hour of gameplay. So I did not want that to have happen during the Let's Play. So I'm just going out and again eliminating these guys so that they are not a problem. Also, the shotgun is by far, without a doubt, the best gun to use against the hunters. This is the dog hallway, which I usually try and stay out of through most of the game, just because there's not really a whole big use coming through here, and the dogs are annoying to dodge in this hallway. They have been replaced with the spiders, which are about 1,000 times easier to deal with. The spiders, you should never in a million years waste any ammo on the spiders. They are so easy to dodge that they are not even like worth talking about, really. But the two hunters that specifically I wanted to deal with are in the Kenneth hallway, or the turnaround zombie hallway, whatever you want to call it, the hallway where you meet the first zombie, the classic guy who looks over his shoulder, that guy. You know what I'm talking about. It's right through here. The area that we're going to be exploring in the Spencer Mansion for the vast majority of this game leads out into this part right here. And as I said, I can't tell you how many times I've gone through this entire part perfectly fine, dealing with everything that the game throws at me, to be killed by these two hunters at the very end of my exploration, and then have everything be for nothing. They are genuinely very, very frustrating to deal with. I hate them. Dear Capcom, hunters are OP, please nerf. Is what me in 1996 said, despite the fact that I was 3 years old and did not play this game until it came out on the GameCube. So now that that's done, we are, this area is clear. Or sorry, I literally just quoted him and I didn't even do it in his voice. It was dirty work, but this area is now clear. To quote Steve Burnside from Code Veronica, the worst character in the series. So now we're going to actually go fight something that is not annoying to deal with. Take out the bazooka. I think I got to grab the Beretta again, right? It's also weird coming back to this game, seeing it called the Beretta, when we know that it's, it's the Star's pistol, it's the Samurai Edge. It's very strange not seeing it being called that. I think over the course of, like, the re-releases, like the director's cut and then the DualShock version, I think they kept, like, fiddling with it until it was the Samurai Edge in the remake. Samurai Edge is such a cool name. I'm not like a huge gun guy, but I do think that the Samurai Edge is just a cool looking gun and it's a cool name. You cannot deny that. So thankfully there is an herb right here that we can use if we take like a little bit of damage, because I for some reason forgot to bring healing items during this fight. Even though it's really not that bad, it's a pretty easy fight. Just like most of the boss battles, I'm going to say that there is... No, I'm not even going to say that there's like one boss battle in this game that's like harder than any of the other ones. They're all fairly easy. So our good old friend Yawn is back. My strategy for this fight has always 100% been stand in this corner and just shoot at him. I don't know if this is true. I've read some places that it is. I always try and look for like trivia and stuff to talk about, but I've heard some people say that if you just ignore Yawn the first time and like grab the crest that you needed instead of fighting him and then leave, that this fight is harder. Again, I've never done that. I always fight Yawn. So I don't know if that's true. And I'm just... You can move at this part. I just think it's always cool to watch this happen. Because again, there are a lot of games like that released today that they just evaporate the character.
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
Yes, but I can't see very well.
How about going down to check by yourself? I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Wait.
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Barry? Barry?
So this part actually determines the ending of the game. So you can either continue on, or you can wait for Barry to drop you down another rope. In order to get the best ending of the game, this is one of the things that you must do. You must wait for Barry. So, you know, I don't want anything bad to happen to any of these characters. So I'm gonna wait.
Hey! Are you there, Jill? Grab the rope! I'm sorry, Jill.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Sorry. I was really careless.
Are you okay, Barry? Maybe you're getting tired.
No, I'm all right. Don't worry. Jill, I found something.
Hey, that's pretty cool. It's good to get a little bit of a password here.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Thank you. I'll keep this then. Weird line delivery. So we're going to just put some stuff away because we got a lot of stuff in our inventory that we don't quite need right now. We're going to be going into an area that is fairly easy to traverse. We don't really need all of this heavy, you know, weaponry that we're carrying along with us. So I talked about before how I finally, like, around the fall, kind of hunkered down and finally got an under 3 hour time on the Resident Evil Remake on the normal difficulty, which I've never been able to do before. I think the time was like 2 hours and 10 minutes, which was really impressive, I think, for me, anyway. And in order to basically get that time, you have to ignore like 90% of, no, I would say 100% of the optional things. So, no MO discs, no saving Barry, no saving Chris, not saving Richard. So, it was all this stuff that I'm so used to doing in that game because I feel bad otherwise. I just was not doing, and I felt terrible. It was the you know, I finally achieved whatever, but at what cost? Everything. Look, the Resident Evil characters are my friends. We hang out. I feel bad if I don't save them at the end of the game. Yeah, I don't know why I've always been like that. I always feel bad, even though I know that they're not real. I'm like, oh, I feel bad if I get Barry killed. If I let Chris blow up at the end of the game. It's especially weird because I don't think I ever even knew that if you don't save Chris and Barry, you don't have to fight the final boss. But that is a thing, and you can do that in this game too, where you don't need to fight the final boss, but, you know, doing the game speedily, you need all the time you can get. So this area that we're going into is probably one of my favorite areas in the game. I mean, the area itself is fine, just the song that plays absolutely rules. This is one of the best songs in this entire game. Probably next to the save room theme, it's probably my favorite. Again, I've talked a lot about how I love the 90s aesthetic of this game and the soundtrack, and the, like, Genesis bwong, bwong. Like, I don't know what that instrument will be called or what that noise is, but I absolutely love it. And this is, of course, the song that gets replaced by the trumpet song in the DualShock version. Which, if you don't know about that story, that is an absolutely wild story that Capcom hired a kind of up-and-coming composer to do music for this game who was deaf, but was like a genius composer. And then, when this game came out, the soundtrack was kind of like a laughingstock. Specifically, this song, the basement song that they put in here, it sounds like trumpets just going to town, just going mental. I played a little bit of it when I put in the alternate forest scene. So, you know, do yourself a favor, look up Resident Evil basement theme, and you'll hear it, and it's an atrocious song. And then it came out like 15 years later, I think about 15 years later, like, or 5 years like ago from right now-ish. It turned out that the guy, first off, wasn't even deaf, so he was lying about that. And secondly, he hired basically a ghostwriter to do all the music for him. So the whole thing just didn't make sense, because back when this game came out, I'm sure you can square it away in your brain and say, this song sounds like shit, but that's okay because he's deaf, he probably doesn't know. But yeah, the whole story is absolutely wild, and I would recommend looking it up and, you know, seeing an actual explanation of the story, because I'm sure I didn't do it very much justice. The best thing about this area, the basement, is that we do not have to worry about any hunters. There are no hunters down here. So this guy's playing dead. Just shoot him a couple times. He doesn't even get up. This dude just sits here and takes it. I love this song so much. And it's not even like, oh, that guy did his own version of this song. Like, he did a completely new song. Like, it's not his interpretation of that song. It's a completely 100% new song. Which is what's so weird. Like, this is a great soundtrack. I don't remember if he fudged with the save room theme. That would be pretty wild. I feel like that's sacrilegious. You cannot do that. Unfortunately, now we are not in the basement anymore, so we're not hearing the song. Yo, get out of here, bro. I think, is that the first time that's happened in this entire playthrough? Is that the first time that a zombie's actually grabbed me? That might very well be true. So, we've got so much handgun bullets that this does not in any way faze me. I do not mind, quote-unquote, wasting all these bullets on these zombies. Again, these zombies don't respawn. None of the enemies, well, some of the enemies in this game do, but none of these enemies respawn. The hunters don't respawn, the dogs don't respawn, these zombies don't respawn. So you don't have to worry about, you know, quote-unquote wasting ammo. If you know you're going to be through this area a couple times, might as well just eliminate them. And we started this video with, like, over 100 bullets for the handgun, so I really don't mind putting these guys down. We do, however, have an issue here because I believe I'm about to run out of space. This battery is the only item that we actually need to grab down here. Okay, now I'm going to run out of space after I pick up these explosive rounds here. So we are actually going to have to go and make a trek back to the save room, the closest save room that we can get to right now. But I did just use, or maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of my practice. I think I still grab as much as I can before I run back. Also, I was talking over it, but there are a lot of zombies in this area that are just eating other zombies, which is very strange behavior. I think we're actually about to get that in this room too, so technically I can still talk about it here, but it is very strange. I don't think that happens at any other part in the series. I can't think of zombies eating another zombie. Like right here, this zombie is eating a zombie. I think the other area, you can say that the zombies were eating just a guy, but you have to put this guy down and then the other guy too, otherwise he'll grab you. Or the implication is that he bit that guy and this guy turned into a zombie like instantly, but I don't think that's what's being implied here. Very strange enemy behavior, I must say. Also, that guy took like way too much ammo. So this door is not openable from this side, so there is basically no reason to go down there. If I had more open space in my inventory, I would take 2 of those green herbs and combine them. But guess what I can't do, because my inventory is full. There is another room over here, thankfully. If I remember correctly, I think this is... There's like another area over to the side in the remake, I think. I don't know. I don't remember this area existing very much at all in the remake. Or if it does, it looks absolutely nothing like this. If I'm remembering correctly, I think down here is actually where you fight Yawn the second time. I might be misremembering, but I think that's true. Also, I think we're gonna get an epic gamer moment here. Yeah. That was incredibly lucky. That guy was so close, I didn't think I was gonna have enough time to take the shotgun out, aim it up, and blow his head off, but there you go, you got it. Also, yes, the maddening song is back. The song that makes it sound like you're going insane. Again, you can pause and read all this. I think all the notes in the first game have always been my favorites. I think they've always been my favorites to read. It's always funny. I was rewatching. I haven't watched Resident Evil Damnation since it came out. Basically, I was rewatching that last night, and it's so funny to see like an entire country at war using BOWs and stuff like that. Seeing like directly after playing the first game and seeing how quaint the beginnings were. I always love how out there the later games get and how grand scope it is. But it's always just funny to say, yeah, this game took place in a mansion and there are like a couple zombies and a few hunters and like there's a giant snake. But in that game, like the president of some like former Soviet nation is using tyrants to fight a civil war. Like that's just it's just funny to think about. So I just cleared out my inventory a little bit. We're gonna head back down to the basement, pick up the stuff that we couldn't quite grab the first time. So this is, I think... No, I think this is just an ink ribbon and a thing of handgun ammo in here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so there's the ink ribbons. Just fine. I'm going to be saving a lot more toward the later half of the game. Just because I didn't want to do things in big chunks, I started wanting to do things in little chunks. Just like Resident Evil 0. There's a lot of moments that reminded me a lot of that Let's Play. I can look over the courtyard from here. It's a helicopter port. If I could contact the other members from there. Okay, well, at least now we have some sort of a long-term... Actually, that basically is our long-term objective. That's like the last thing we're going to want to do. So, in this other room, I believe this is the first of like one of our more important items. If I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. I've known to be mistaken in the past. No, this is one of our first, like... This is incredibly optional. We do not technically need to do this. But it's nice to do anyway. It's nice to do good things for our friends. So that's kind of your hint toward that puzzle. You don't really need to do that on subsequent ways, you know, through here. But what we need to do is push this statue into that lit up area. So basically, as long as you remember to go in that corner, you don't really need to even light that up. This is perfect music for pushing a statue into a corner, I have to say. If I'm remembering right, I think this is much simpler than getting the first MO disc in the remake. I feel like it was way more convoluted in that game, but I don't remember. So this is the first Mo disc. This is what we need to get, eventually, this is what we're going to need to get Chris out of jail. Basically, it's going to ensure that we get the best ending in the game. Again, just another thing. There's quite a few things that influence the ending of the game. You know, there's no Lisa Trevor in this game, so there's no give Barry the gun, don't give Barry the gun moment, but there is something similar to that that we will have to deal with, I think, in the next video? Now that we have the battery from the basement, we can use that in the courtyard again, which will give us access to even more areas. That's our short-term goal, and our long-term goal is, of course, getting onto that helipad to try and contact Brad. This dude's gliding down the stairs. I don't know how he's doing this. Also, he's the only zombie in the entire game that actually uses his hands to open up a door. I feel like it was intended for this guy to be a hunter, because it's basically the same cutscene as the hunters, but it's just a dude. It's just a zombie. Like, he had the same hand as the hunter, so I'm really not quite sure about that. Also, that sucks. But there goes his head. You just kick his fucking head off. I love that so much. I'm getting hit by zombies way more in this video than I think I've been in any other part of the game. So this is why I did the thing at the beginning of the video. Because imagine going through all of this to get up to this part of the mansion, to get into this hallway, and to be faced with 2 hunters in your way. Now, you could run by them, probably taking damage as you go, or you can kill them in the beginning and not have to worry about it. You know, get that part over with first and then go through all that. That's why I did that. I didn't want to, you know, record this entire video, make all that progress, and then get clipped by some annoying-ass hunter at the very end of the video. And thankfully, right here, there is a save typewriter. So we're going to use that and end the video. So see you next time, where we explore some new areas of the game. So see you then.